Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to share an inspiring story about chasing your dreams, overcoming challenges, and turning passion into success. This is the story of Ethan, a young man who never gave up, even when life seemed impossible. It was a bright sunny morning in the small town of Willowbrook, and everyone was busy with their daily routines. Among them was a young man named Ethan, who had always dreamed of becoming a famous chef. Ethan wasn't from a wealthy family. In fact, he had almost nothing to his name except his passion for cooking and a small notebook filled with recipes he had perfected over the years. Ethan worked at a local diner washing dishes, earning just enough to pay rent. Every evening, he would close his eyes and imagine a world where people lined up outside his restaurant, eager to taste his creations. But reality was tough. The diner's owner barely noticed his skills, and most of the customers were too busy scrolling on their phones to appreciate a well-cooked meal. One afternoon, as Ethan was carrying a tray of dirty dishes to the kitchen, he overheard two women at a nearby table discussing a national cooking competition. The prize was a scholarship to a prestigious culinary school and a chance to have your own cooking show. Ethan's heart raced. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for. Without thinking twice, he wiped his hands, took a deep breath, and decided he would enter. Over the next few days, Ethan stayed up late perfecting a dish that he believed would wow the judges. It was a fusion recipe combining flavors from his grandmother's traditional kitchen and his own modern twist. Every night, he tested different ingredients, adjusted spices, and even learned plating techniques from old cooking shows he had saved on his tablet. The day of the competition arrived, and Ethan walked into the grand hall, feeling both nervous and excited. Around him were chefs in pristine uniforms, professional tools in hand, and a confidence that intimidated him. But he reminded himself why he was there, not to compete with anyone, but to show his passion through his food. As the competition began, Ethan carefully prepared his dish, trying not to let his nerves get the better of him. The aroma of herbs, spices, and sizzling ingredients filled the air, drawing curious looks from other contestants. Finally, the judges came around to taste his creation. They took a bite, paused, and exchanged glances. Ethan's heart pounded. Then, one of the judges smiled and said, "This is extraordinary. Tell us about it." Ethan explained the inspiration behind his dish, how it was a blend of traditional family recipes and modern flavors, representing both his past and future. The judges listened intently, impressed not just by the taste, but by the story and emotion behind it. Hours later, the results were announced. Ethan's dish had not only won the top prize, but the judges praised his creativity, dedication, and passion. Tears filled Ethan's eyes as he realized that all those nights of hard work had finally paid off. He had gone from washing dishes in a small diner to being recognized as a talented young chef. But the story didn't end there. After the competition, a famous food blogger who had attended the event reached out to Ethan, offering to feature him on her popular channel. Soon, Ethan's fusion recipes were being shared across social media, attracting food enthusiasts from all over the country. Restaurants invited him to collaborate, and he even received offers to open his own small bistro. Through all the success, Ethan never forgot where he came from. He returned to Willowbrook, opened a tiny restaurant in his hometown, and offered free cooking classes to young aspiring chefs who, like him, had big dreams but limited resources. His story became an inspiration, a reminder that passion, hard work, and belief in yourself could turn even the smallest beginnings into extraordinary journeys. Years later, Ethan looked back on his life and smiled. He remembered the nights spent experimenting in his tiny kitchen, the doubts, the failures, and the moments of fear before stepping into the competition. Each challenge had shaped him, and every small victory had brought him closer to his dream. What started as a simple love for cooking had become a story of determination, hope, and triumph, one that would inspire countless others to chase their own dreams. And as he served his famous fusion dishes to a line of eager customers in Willowbrook, Ethan realized that the journey was just as important as the destination. His passion had not only transformed his life, but also touched the lives of everyone around him. Dreams, he realized, don't work unless you do, but when you do, the results can be magical. I'm going to share a story about courage, perseverance, and chasing your dreams, about a young woman named Maya, whose determination changed her life forever. Maya lived in a small town by the riverside, where life was simple and opportunities were few. From a young age, she loved painting. Every spare moment, she would take out her sketchbook and create colorful worlds filled with characters, landscapes, and emotions that words could not express. Her parents, though loving, didn't understand her passion. Painting won't get you anywhere, they often said. But Maya didn't listen. She dreamed of one day becoming a renowned artist whose work would be admired worldwide. Life, however, was not easy. Maya's family struggled financially, and she couldn't afford expensive art supplies or formal training. She used old notebooks, pencil stubs, and even leftover paint for school projects. Every day, after finishing her chores, she would sit by the riverside, sketching and imagining the day her paintings would be displayed in galleries. One afternoon, while sketching the sunset by the river, Maya noticed a poster pinned to a nearby wall. It was an advertisement for a national art competition, with the grand prize being a full scholarship to a prestigious art school in the city. Maya's heart raced. This could be her chance to turn her dream into reality. She rushed home, grabbed her few supplies, and started working on the piece she believed would win. The days that followed were intense. Maya stayed up late into the night, experimenting with techniques she had only read about in books borrowed from the library. She painted and repainted, trying to capture the emotion she felt in her heart. Her fingers were stained with paint, her notebooks were covered in sketches, and her room looked like an explosion of colors. But Maya didn't care. Every stroke brought her closer to her dream. When the day of the competition arrived, Maya packed her artwork carefully and traveled to the city, her hands shaking with nervous excitement. She entered the grand hall filled with talented artists from all over the country. The sight was overwhelming. Professional canvases, advanced tools, and confidence radiating from every corner. Maya felt small and uncertain, but she reminded herself why she was there, not to compete, but to show her passion. As the judges moved from one piece to another, they paused at Maya's painting. They examined the colors, the depth, and the story behind it. Maya explained her inspiration, the riverside of her hometown, the struggles of ordinary people, and her belief that art could bring hope to everyone. The judges listened intently, impressed not just by her technique, but by the emotion her work conveyed. Weeks later, the results were announced. Maya's painting had won first place. She had earned the scholarship and recognition for her talent. Tears filled her eyes as she realized that her countless hours of hard work and dedication had paid off. She had gone from a small riverside town to being recognized as a rising star in the art world. With her scholarship, Maya moved to the city and began her formal training. She learned advanced techniques, explored different mediums, and met mentors who nurtured her talent. But she never forgot her roots. Whenever she felt lost or overwhelmed, she remembered the river, her humble beginnings, and the simple joy of painting for the love of it. During her time in the city, Maya began sharing her artwork online. Her paintings were soon admired by thousands of people, and she received invitations to showcase her work in galleries and art fairs. Yet, even with growing fame, Maya remained grounded. She visited her hometown regularly, teaching free art workshops to children who, like her, had dreams but limited resources. One young boy, Arjun, reminded Maya of herself. He had incredible talent, but no guidance. Under Maya's mentorship, Arjun developed his skills and even won a local art contest. Watching him succeed brought Maya a sense of fulfillment she could never have imagined. She realized that success was not just about personal achievements. It was about inspiring and helping others along the way. Years passed, and Maya became a celebrated artist. Her work exhibited in galleries across the country. Despite the fame and recognition, she stayed humble, always remembering the nights she spent by the river with nothing but a pencil and her dreams. Her story inspired countless young artists to believe in themselves, to work hard, and to never give up, even when life seemed impossible.